The Arctic, a realm of stunning, brutal beauty. For months on end, the sun is just a rumor on the horizon. Temperatures can plummet to minus 45 degrees Celsius or minus 50 Fahrenheit. In this cold, exposed skin can freeze in minutes, and steel can become as brittle as glass. Here, the cold isn't just uncomfortable, it's a relentless, invisible predator trying to steal your life away, 1 degree at a time. To survive, you need more than just a coat. You need shelter. This is an igloo, a house made of frozen water that can maintain a temperature difference of up to 60 degrees Celsius from the outside world, using only body heat and a small lamp. This seems like a complete paradox, like trying to build a boat out of water or a fire extinguisher out of gasoline. So how does it work? Is it magic? Number. It's a masterpiece of physics, thermodynamics, and structural engineering, refined over thousands of years. And to understand its genius, we first need to look closer at the snow itself. The first and most important thing to understand is that an igloo isn't made of solid ice. It's built from blocks of hard, wind-packed snow. And if you could zoom into a microscopic level, you'd see that this snow is mostly nothing. Up to 95% of its volume is just air, trapped in a massive, chaotic lattice of tiny, interlocking ice crystals. This trapped air is the secret ingredient. It is the ultimate insulation. Heat always flows from hot to cold, and it travels in 3 ways. Radiation is heat waves, convection is heat carried by moving fluids like air, and conduction is heat transferred directly between molecules. In the open, you lose most of your heat to convection, the wind literally carrying it away. But inside a snow block, the air is trapped in millions of tiny pockets. It can't move. It can't create currents. Convection is stopped dead. This leaves conduction as the main way for heat to escape, a slow, molecule-to-molecule creep through the ice crystals themselves. The snow's structure is a microscopic labyrinth that heat gets lost in. For a heat particle, trying to get through a block of snow is like trying to run through a city made of sponges. This makes snow a fantastic thermal insulator. In fact, gram for gram, it's as effective as the fiberglass or styrofoam we use in our modern homes, and far better than wood. A house made of solid ice would be a deadly freezer, sucking heat out of you almost 40 times faster than a house made of snow. So the igloo's builder isn't choosing coal to build with, they're choosing a high-tech composite material made of ice and air. But having a great material is only the first step. You have to use it with genius-level design. An igloo is not a passive building. It's an active thermal system, a climate-controlled machine. The furnace is you. Your body's metabolism, the process of converting food into energy, constantly generates heat. A resting human gives off about 100 watts of thermal energy, the same as a bright incandescent light bulb. This, combined with the heat from a stone lamp called a qualic, which traditionally burns seal or whale blubber, provides all the warmth needed. The igloo's job is simply to trap this heat, and it does this with a few strokes of pure brilliance. First, the entrance. It's not just a hole. It's a short tunnel, often with a U-shaped bend, and its floor is always lower than the main living area. This creates a cold trap. Cold air is denser and heavier than warm air. So, the coldest, heaviest air sinks and pools in the entrance tunnel, forming an invisible, self-maintaining barrier that prevents the precious, lighter, warmer air inside from spilling out. Simple, elegant, brilliant. Second, the interior is tiered. Hot air rises. So you build a raised platform of snow to sleep on, putting you in the warmest part of the house, where temperatures can be a comfortable 10 or 15 degrees Celsius. The middle level is for cooking and living, and the lowest level is the cold sink, where the chilliest air collects away from the occupants. The igloo creates its own microclimates, layered by physics, precisely where you need them. Finally, a small ventilation hole at the top. This seems counterintuitive. Why poke a hole in your warm house? But it's crucial. It lets out harmful gases like carbon monoxide from the lamp and carbon dioxide from your breath so you don't die in your sleep. But it also acts as the engine for the entire system using the principle of stack effect ventilation. The escaping hot air creates a tiny pressure difference, pulling fresh air in through the entrance, ensuring a slow, steady, draft-free circulation. It's a perfectly engineered, self-regulating airflow system. But here's where the design transcends from clever to truly brilliant. The igloo uses its own captured warmth to become stronger and more efficient over time. The heat from the lamp and people causes the very inner surface of the walls to melt just slightly. This water then seeps into the pores of the snow and immediately refreezes into a thin, smooth layer of ice, a process called sintering. This melt-freeze cycle does 2 amazing things. First, it seals any tiny cracks or gaps between the snow blocks, making the whole structure airtight and windproof, significantly boosting its insulating power. Second, this interior ice glaze acts like structural glue, bonding the individual granular blocks into a strong, single solid shell, a monocoque structure. An igloo actively reinforces itself. The longer you live in it, the stronger and warmer it gets. A properly settled igloo is so robust you can stand on its roof without it collapsing. It's a building that literally gets better with age, using the body heat of its inhabitants as a tool for its own construction. But why doesn't it collapse under its own weight, especially before it's been glazed with ice? A quick glance might suggest an igloo is a hemisphere, a perfect half sphere. But it's not. A hemisphere is actually a surprisingly weak shape for this kind of construction. The weight from the top creates powerful outward forces at the base, which would cause the uncemented snow blocks to bulge and fail. The igloo's true shape is a catenoid, the three-dimensional shape formed by rotating a catenary curve. A catenary is the perfect, natural curve that a hanging chain or rope forms under its own weight. Flipped upside down, it becomes the perfect arch. It is a structural miracle because it directs all the weight from above downwards through pure compression. Every single block pushes directly on the one below it, channeling the force along the curve and into the solid ground. There are no outward forces trying to push the walls apart. This is why a catenary arch can be built with separate blocks and no support and be perfectly stable. For centuries, European engineers built magnificent cathedrals with massive external supports called flying buttresses for the sole purpose of countering the outward thrust of their semicircular arches. The Inuit, with a deep, intuitive, hands-on understanding of physics, had already perfected the ideal self-supporting shape. So, how does an igloo stay warm? It's not one single trick. It's a system. A perfect combination of an advanced composite insulating material packed with air, an ingenious thermodynamic design that manages heat and air with tiered floors, and a cold trap entrance, a self-reinforcing structure that uses the energy of its occupants to get stronger, and the single most perfect architectural shape for the job, discovered through observation and necessity. The igloo, or igloovijak, as it's correctly called in the Inuktitut language, is more than a snow hut. It's a triumph of science. It is the physical expression of a deep body of knowledge known as Inuit kaujimajatukankit, or Inuit traditional knowledge, passed down not in textbooks, but through lived experience. It's a stunning testament to human ingenuity and our ability to find not just survival, but warmth, comfort, and home in the harshest places on Earth. At Beyond Questions Plus, deep self-standing sparks true change. Tell us, when did you feel unstoppable and how did you honor your conscience? Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and share.